John F. Kennedy. And you pull him up, you're going to see that he was a young, attractive, very well-spoken president. He comes in, he did not really want to address civil rights that much, as you probably remember from what you read in the civil rights slides. But in 1962, the Cold War is still going on, and he finds out from some reconnaissance aircraft that was flying over Cuba that there are missiles in Cuba that were put there by the Soviet Union. Now, if you don't realize, and you look at a world map, Cuba is like right here. The United States is right here. So, these missiles are super close to us. Think about if you saw that somebody down the street from where you live just put weapons on their front yard and they're ready to put them off. Is that going to make you scared? If it doesn't, then I think you need to maybe get your nerves checked out, because if I see weapons or I see anything that's kind of scary close to my house, I'm freaking out. I'm not going to handle that very well. So, President Kennedy hears about this and he goes, what am I going to do? What should I do about these missiles? You're going to read about it, find out what his perspective is. Then, you're going to see that Prime Minister Castro, he is in charge of Cuba. And he's reaching out to Nikita Khrushchev, who is in charge of the Soviet Union. And he's saying, Castro's saying to Khrushchev, okay, the United States knows that we have this. Are you going to come help us and help us fight the United States? We need your help. You're going to answer these questions on a Google Doc and submit that stuff. Excuse me, I don't know what I did. It's very important that you read this stuff because I did not put together slides on this topic for you guys. Okay, when you get to this next one here, it's a table. Okay, you're going to see Castro, Kennedy, and Khrushchev, and you're answering these questions. What experiences did they have? What characteristics were brought out by this event? To help you answer that, you're going to click on this Armageddon Letters link that takes you to YouTube. And when you go here, you're going to watch a couple different videos. So, to get us started, you're going to watch Who Cares About the Cuban Missile Crisis? You might not care. So, this older gentleman, he's going to introduce the Cuban Missile Crisis to you, kind of bring it home to think about sometimes you have to make a judgment call. Then you're going to watch Be Castro, Be Khrushchev, Be Kennedy. This is where you answer the questions. After you watch each one, answer those questions. You're going to see that you're looking at the Cuban Missile Crisis from each of their perspectives. Remember, it's kind of like at the beginning of the year when we looked at the different perspectives on the same event. Because how I view something and how you view something and how a third person views it, even within the same room, it comes from their worldview, their upbringing. That makes a difference. So watch these, enjoy them. They are little animated videos, so hopefully that makes it a little bit more fun for you, even though the content is a little bit heavy. After you answer those questions using the Armageddon Letters link, you're going to go to this last one, read about the aftermath. Read about what happened. How did this get brought to an end? What did we do to make this come to an end? Because obviously we did not go to nuclear war. If we went to nuclear war with Cuba and the Soviet Union, none of us would be around today. The Cold War, remember, as I said, it was about that brinkmanship, that everybody was kind of like on the brink of nuclear war, but you did not want to start shooting off nuclear weapons, because guess what? If you let that off, the whole world is pretty much going to be destroyed. Everybody's going to retaliate. That mutually assured destruction. Once you're finished answering those questions on a Google Doc, you're going to answer this final question here that I've given you. Are there situations in the world today? Sorry, I have to go down here. Are there situations in the world today where factors that could lead to a nuclear crisis exist? How can countries minimize the risk of nuclear war? So, 2 paragraphs, 5 sentences each. Talk about Cuban Missile Crisis, talk about today, talk about your own opinion, for goodness sake. Turn that in by Friday, 3:30. Then, your final assignment for the week is, I did not forget about the Kennedy assassination. We'll be getting into that next week. But we're going to jump ahead a little bit to the president that comes after President Kennedy. His name was Lyndon Johnson, and he was a pretty interesting guy, as I'll explain to you next week. But you're going to, once again, look at documents and answer questions on a Google Doc. So I'm going to walk you through these documents. You may have to zoom in, do what you have to do. I'm sorry I could not put it in PDF or put it in a Google Doc. Pictures were the best I could do. You're going to read Lyndon Johnson's speech from 1964 about his idea of building the Great Society. The Great Society is very much like a New Deal sort of thing. Not nearly as big or as expensive as the New Deal, but Lyndon Johnson wants to bring these social programs to fix the United States. Okay. Then you're going to read about what are some of the major Great Society programs. Education, Medicare, Medicaid, Head Start. Most of these are still around today. So, you can see that they were effective at least in some capacity, if they're still around 50, almost 60 years later. So read about them, see, okay, why did these come about? What could we do to, why were they necessary? Then you're going to read about 2 perspectives. A pro perspective, which comes from, this is a modern article, October 1999, talking about what was really great about the Great Society. As you know, the Great Society did happen. So, it's still around today. Why was it great? How was it great? This is why I have you guys do soapstones, though, because this is not from that time period. That's from today. This is not considered a primary source. This letter and speech from Lyndon Johnson is a primary source. This is a secondary source talking about the impact. And then the last one is a con. Once again, a modern day source. August 17th, 2004. The War on Poverty Revisited. Thinking about how successful was the Great Society. And then from that, you're going to analyze using source, the questions, all that stuff. Do pro, con. Which one do you think is more convincing and why? Once you do these assignments, get them all turned in. Ultimately, this is not that much work. You're going to just take it piecemeal. Do a little here, a little there and say, looking at all these different topics, bring your understanding of the beginning of the 1960s together. Thinking Cuban Missile Crisis, Great Society, and ending up civil rights. Hopefully you have fun with the slang assignment. Hopefully you enjoy watching the little videos on the Cuban Missile Crisis. Hopefully the Great Society helps you see that there are programs out there that were trying to help people. Even right now, think about these coronavirus stimulus programs coming out. Is that an extension of the New Deal and the Great Society? Think about it. Lots of stuff. I don't want you to just think about history is not just history. It impacts today. It goes towards our future together. So think about all of that as you look through these documents. As always, if you need help, reach out to me. You can see me on my office hours Monday through Friday from 11:30 to 12. If you need another time, reach out to me and we'll set something up so you can talk with me. Email me, send me a message on here, contact me on Remind, whatever works for you. Your Zoom links, we also have the links to the office hours. You can go on there, check these links so you know the right place to go. So I have given you, and I've given your parents, an overview of what digital learning is going to look like. Part of that is you guys can call or text me at this number 240-347-1469. I don't see your number, but when you text me, give me your name, or you call me, tell me your name so I know who you are, I can help you, and then I can respond as soon as possible and help you with anything. If you're struggling at home because you're like, I'm struggling with my internet, or hey, Mr. Barr, I just don't have food right now, or I just need to talk to somebody, I'm feeling lonely. Reach out. I am pretty much willing to help you. You know that up to this point. I've always been there for you, and I will continue to. It's just a little harder with distance, but we will make it work. I promise you that. If you keep doing the work, your grade is going to reflect that as well. Work hard so we can all do well and we can enjoy that 1 hour a week I get with you during Zoom. I will be explaining stuff in great detail to you. I am here for your questions. You just have to let me know what's going on so I can help you best. As I always say, make good choices, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Hang in there. We're going to work out the bugs together and figure this all out. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.